Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's Nick and Craig, and we are back with another episode of the Dead Man's Mike podcast, man, a Halloween Horror Nights podcast. And Craig is back in the building. Like Craig is here. Like he's back. Craig, how
Yes,
you feeling,
sir.
man? How you feeling?
Now I'm feel now I'm feeling good, man. All is well. I'm just ready to chop it up and get it rocking. Let's do it.
So far, we've talked about some of the houses that have been announced. On the last episode, we dove, we had a deep dive into LRT. Still, we talked about everything that was kind of coming up, with that. But this week has taken off in a major way. And the tweet did not lie. The tweet said, "Do you want a spooky week?" We're getting it. Minus one this week,
Yeah.
we've got an announcement every day. It's been original
Yep.
heavy, and I feel like the originals have been absolutely killing it. I really do. I feel like the originals have been going off. So let's go right down the list, man. Let's talk about Hatchet and Chains first. Demon Bounty Hunters. This is the first
Yep.
house of the week. This is the first announcement. Craig, what are your thoughts on this house? What do you think?
So what I think about this house, um, I love the Demon Bounty Hunter aspect of it because um, HHN hasn't really done anything like this before. Well, they have, but they haven't done it in a while. And
Right.
so, um, and so what I was thinking was that maybe this year Halloween Horror Nights is like return to form in some way, bringing some of the classic elements or classic ideas back, and the way that Hatchet and Chains Demon Bounty Hunters is gonna recoup like reintroduce that is, excuse me, there I believe they're going to uh, take elements from different houses like that in the past, and I believe that um, this is gonna be the type of house that takes uh, people by surprise. This might be. I mean, I know there are a lot of sleeper houses this year, but dare I say this could be one of the sleepers. So I'm really looking forward to this house. What do you think about it?
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it as well. I'm one of those people that I resonate really well with the artwork.
Yeah.
Whatever the artwork looks like, I'm able to kind of visualize what we may or may not be seeing from whatever that
Yeah.
property may be. Now, one thing I do want to hit on with Hatchet and Chains is the fact that it was also featured in last year's Slaughter Cinema 2.
That's
So
true.
that was a prelude for us. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. To me, this says that they had this plan all along, that they knew that they were going to bring one of these back. And in Slaughter Cinema 2, when you go through it, every section, every movie that you went through had maybe was like one or two rooms or something like that. It was very short,
Right.
but this was definitely a foreshadow of what was to come. So we are getting ready to get those two rooms tripled in a house. I'm very excited about it. I love the old Western like haunted cowboy theme. When I first saw the artwork, before I put two and two together and realized, wait, this was in Slaughter Cinema. I actually
Right.
thought that this was going to be some sort of like Universal's own take on the lore of Jeepers Creepers. That's what I thought, just by looking at the artwork, and we can still be right with that. Like we don't know, but I personally felt like this could definitely be some sort of a spin on that. But having getting gotten a preview last year in Slaughter Cinema 2, I'm very excited for this house. I think this is going to be very intense. I think this is one of those that a lot of people will need to go through more than once. I think there's going to be a lot to unpack from the storyline of going through it, but this one should be really good. That's kind of what I think about that one. Now,
Yeah, this house is just gonna. I feel like in terms of this house, I think it's gonna just bring a whole new. It very well could just bring a whole new aspect into um what Horror Nights is trying to do. So I'm very excited for it.
I agree. And then the very next day after Hatchet and Chains, they hit us with Dolls Let's Play Dead. This is the first doll themed house at HHN since HHN24. It was Dollhouse of the Damned was the last house that they did. Now, I've seen a lot of people online trying to figure out, is there going to be some sort of a connection here? Is this going to be, some sort of a spinoff, kind of like what we were talking about with Hatchet and Chains? To me, I don't think this is going to be any sort of a spinoff. I think this is its own thing. But I do think that I'm all in on the theming, and I do think that this could also be another sleeper. I also get a little worried that this could go the comedy route, but you got to think about how many people are truly afraid of dolls, creepy baby dolls, and things like that. If I walked in a room of them, I'd be taking my ass out. So, like, that's just kind of how I am with the lore. I've seen a lot of people say this house is going to be a banger because it's going to tap into a lot of people's childhood phobias. So that could be something. What do you think?
Honestly, what I think about Dolls Let's Play Dead, I really hope that it's not gonna be a repeat of Chucky. I hope not, because
Mhm.
everybody was so looking forward to Chucky, because Chucky is a beloved horror character, and everyone's like, yes, this house is gonna just be crazy. It's gonna be chaotic. Don't get me wrong, it was chaotic, but it was in
Yeah,
the wrong ways. And though, and I felt like they I felt like what they could have done, what they didn't do. Like, it's almost like, okay, cool, you got the right idea, great, we're excited, we're ecstatic, but it could have been executed way better. That's just what I think.
I agree. I do think that this definitely gives off that vibe of if it's done right, then this could be incredible. They've talked about the old Victorian, the old school, creepy dollhouse vibes and things like that. If they do that, if they stick to the lure of creepy nursery rhymes and things like that, very quiet, very dark, very ominous, this house could be a hit. But I feel like just as easy as it could be a hit, it could end up being like a Chucky. And obviously we don't want that to happen. Artwork and
Exactly.
description wise and the reception of the people, the originals are 4 for 4 right now. So
I believe so, because what Universal does very well is that they do they do originals really, really great. And I think besides the IP, what they really want to do is let their imagination flag fly. And like I stated in previous episodes, there has been it's almost like everybody comes together with these ideas and these concepts, and people and like the different like the scenarios that people you know the creators, or like yeah, the different scenarios that the creators come up with. It's like you got all these ideas that you know you come to Universal Creative about, and it's like only so much of them make the top shelf, and then the other ones unfortunately get on the chopping block, and then like saved in the vault for like maybe a following year. And that's what's so great, because they can just reach into that vault. If they just lose sight of an idea, they can just reach into that vault and literally pick
Right,
something
and
that they
run
ain't been
it.
thinking about. Yep, and they can
Right.
just run it, and it's just as simple as that. So I'm excited for the four originals that have been announced and that are gonna be uh, and I feel like uh, what they're gonna do is execute them in a very amazing fashion. So you know, color
Yeah.
me excited.
Yeah. No, and like the what I've also learned is that the design team behind Dead Man's Pier and Blood Moon are behind at least two out of the four of these originals. So, not to discredit the actors, coming from an actor, I know actors make a haunted house go just like gas does to a car. But I'm excited about this detail. That's my biggest thing with HHN houses is I want to be immersed in the environment. When I walk on that sound stage, I don't want like I want to almost forget that I'm a Universal. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm in the sound stage. Like I'm in it. I'm a part of it. And so
That's what
I
I like. I want to add something because that's what I like about Universal doing houses and sound stages because you can just like in Dead Man's Pier, they dropped us in it. We
we
were
were
in the
in it.
elements. It's
Yeah.
rain coming down. Um,
Uh
the
bro.
abandoned wharf. The ambiance. It was snowing too, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yeah. Yeah.
how Universal can just like drop us in environments and stuff like that. I just love that. That's why, you know, like not a tent, but like even in a sprung tent, they can do that because it's a sprung tent. It's not like how they do in Hollywood, how they have like an actual tent. But no,
Right.
Orlando has more space and real estate to do like a sprung tent, so that it's still a tent, but it's almost like how NFL teams have like an indoor facility. It's like an
Right.
indoor facility
Right.
for HHN. It's like they can still
Mhm.
entrap you and drop you in that environment. So it's almost like a mini sound stage, but it's still a sprung tent. But
Right.
that's what's so great about having that's so great about having houses and sound stages because it's like they could just drop you in that environment. You're there, you're in it, so you're in the elements, and so I just love that.
And that's what I'm really excited about with these originals. I really feel like the storyline from these originals, the artwork and everything really has dropped plenty of Easter eggs that we're going to be immersed. We're going to be a part, of a different world, whatever that world is that they're trying to create. Because that really, that kind of pulls us into what we got this morning, and I definitely want to unpack this one. I feel like there's a lot to unpack with this one. There's also a lot of uncertainty from the people on this one. I've been seeing a lot of tweets, a lot of different thoughts, and this should be an interesting take. So let's go ahead and run into what we got this morning, which was Grave of Flesh, announced Friday for Horror Nights Orlando. What are we thinking? Because I know that I've seen and heard some thoughts about this being Graveyard Games inspired. Is this going to be related or a tip of the hat toward Graveyard Games? Also, Hell Block horror vibes could be coming from this. I know that's what you had stated, Craig, that you were getting some Hell Block horror vibes from this. What are you thinking?
So what I'm thinking is like, it could be, it could be like both or one and the same because, because as great as Graveyard Games was and as good and slept on as Hell Block Horror was, I think it could very well bring um both things together, and I just think that um I just think you know Graveyard Games and Hell Block Horror are like one and the same, but they both differentiate from each other. But like I said, I think Grave of Flesh is going to bring both of them together. I think it's going to be the simplicity of Graveyard Games and then the chaos of Hell Block Horror. So I'm,
Mm,
I'm really excited about this house in particular. I know Yurdy is too, um,
yeah,
because he immediately got graveyard games right off the bat, and so what you thinking about it, bro?
I'm excited about this one. I definitely am to a point where the detail is gonna sell this one for me, I feel. Are you still there, Craig? You still here?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, okay. So I definitely think the detail is going to sell for this one. I think this one is going to be very gothic and it is going to play into the aesthetic that they talked about at Spooky Empire about what they wanted to do with the event overall. You know, they want to make sure that you are immersed and dropped into a very gothic, sinister environment. And I do think that this one will probably have a lot of gargoyles, a lot of different decor that is going to be for warding off evil and things like that. I think this house is going to be dope. Very excited for it. I'm wondering if this will get a sound stage or not. I haven't referenced the spec maps in a while. So that's just kind of where I'm at with Grave of Flesh. Very excited about it. It's a solid announcement. I've seen a lot of people that just feel kind of so about it, and I understand that as well. They feel like, sometimes zombie themes are just those themes where people feel like you could do a little more with it, right? Like it's cool, but it's just not the best. So that's kind of what people are getting from that. So that's just kind of what I think there. Now, in terms of IPs, what is expected next? Just from what I've been gathering from speculation and things like that, Terrifier is expected to be the next announced IP house for HHN34. And that would more than likely, and I'm almost positive, be for both Orlando and Hollywood. Craig, what are you thinking about Terrifier, man? We have definitely speculated for a long time about this house, and it's finally happening. So I would like to know what are people feeling about this? What are you feeling about this? Is this too gruesome for the event? Is this right on target for the event? Is this what we need? Is it too much? What do you think?
Well, first, apologies for stepping away from the camera a bit. Um, I feel like you know, I feel like Terrifier is right on point with HA10, like in terms of the chaos and the like the goriness of it and the off the wall. They like honestly, it's like a serious comedy um type of like it's like a comedic horror film, and so
Right,
and like the off the wall type deal too, and it's almost like it's almost like uh it's almost like wow, this like literally falls into uh this literally falls right, and it literally falls into what HHN is doing
right,
because um they have the comedic houses, they have the serious houses, they have the IPs, and it's like Terrifier is all of those rolled into one. And it's not like it's not like you can have um like you don't have to be in a whole bidding war or like be begging on your knees to uh get the rights to the IP like Universal has done in the past because some studios have relented. But
right.
like I have never I have never heard of a I've never heard of a greater situation for Universal being um because Leon and the crew they want it's almost like they're begging Universal to even do a Terrifier house to begin with. And
Right.
so,
Right.
for them to do that and to fall in this situation, it's like boom. And then Terrifier has so much of a cult following. Like no, no, like it's like Art the Clown is such like a, it's like he's now, it's like he's now the new horror villain icon, and it's like he's had such a he's had such a cult following, and they're um it's almost like you know to do with this, and again for Universal to be in this position, it's just like all green lights, all full steam ahead on all fronts, and it's like they're just waiting to announce it.
Yeah. I definitely feel like I was in a position as a fan of the event that Terrifier seemed like a property that would never be touched by Halloween Horror Nights. And I was going strictly off of the movies. It just seemed a little bit too gruesome to really pass for a house at the event. Because I do feel like Horror Nights has definitely followed more of a family like trend with their houses. However, this lineup that we're getting seems to really be packing a punch on the scary side of things. So, what I do like that you said is that Terrifier definitely mixes all of those different elements. And that's really key for, why and how we feel that Terrifier will survive and do very well at the house, despite it being, what will be, become a cult classic in one day. I definitely feel like it has a humongous following and it will sell a lot of tickets. And a lot of people will be there. So we are kind of expecting this house to get announced any day now. Per John Murdy's Twitter, he's dropping a lot of Easter eggs and things like that, even though we know it is like legit the worst kept secret for Halloween Horror Nights right now. There's so many people leaking this house, and we've never seen the artwork, none of that, but we've seen the facade in Hollywood and what they have covered up with a tarp. So it'd be kind of silly for us to speculate that it wouldn't be coming to the event. It's not, is it coming to the event? It's a matter of when and when it gets announced. So Terrifier should be here soon. I feel pretty confident that it'll be coming. I think it's been leaked and talked about a little bit too much by too many people that are inside sources for it to not be at the event. So I do feel pretty confident the Terrifier is happening this year. Now, one other thing about these IPs, and really, like Craig, I want to get your thoughts on this for the entire week, this spooky week that we've been having with all these announcements. Do we expect another IP to be released this week or more originals? Now, at this point, we are talking about tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. They could go the IP route. We could get Terrifier, but there's also another IP out there that we have not gotten yet. Or they could drop another original on us. Where do your thoughts lie with that? What do you think?
I think that what they could do, um, because if I'm not mistaken, there's 10 houses, right?
Yes, for
10 or 11.
Orlando. I want to say 10. I want to
10.
say 10.
Okay, okay, cool. So we got four originals, and um we got um two IPs.
Mhm.
So that means there's six. There's six now. So that means the other six uh, would normally be well, let me stop you there. Um, Normally there's like five IPs and five originals.
Right.
But what I think they're gonna do with the other four is that um, they're gonna be it's gonna like the rest are gonna be IPs. Well, three of them are gonna be IPs because if you look at that, if you look at um, that broken glass fixture and Fine
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Dime,
right.
and there's like I think there's like three more. I think there's like three more slots that's left, and so case in point, that's why I think that there's gonna be um, there's gonna be three more IPs and one more original. So honestly, they could just throw us a curveball and go all IPs
They could.
and then just go from there. Or what they could do is list that last original and then here we go IP.
They
So
could. They could. I
who
yeah.
honestly who knows what Universal is going to do right now because
Oh,
last year we got announcements of just the IPs and then and then like I believe like July they just listed all the originals at once.
yeah. I
So
think yeah.
so
We got
this year,
Access originals in 1 week.
right? This year it's different. They announced they announced Fallout, then they announced Jason Universe. Now they're doing they're doing IPs every week or every few days or so, or
Right.
every couple of days. So
And
it's
we're still waiting on that full confirmation about Five Nights at Freddy's on what
exactly
exactly that's going to be. We know it's a
they
house,
right. They
but
know they like we know they announced Five Nights at Freddy's, but they wasn't too concrete in detail because they said we're bringing a Five Nights at Freddy's experience to
right,
HHN. They didn't know
exactly,
if it was going to be a house, if it was going to be a show, if it's going to be this, if it's going to be that, whatever. We just
right,
know that it's an experience. We don't know if it's a house. I mean, me personally, it's going to be a house. They're just calling it an experience because that's what is because I feel like that's what it's going to be like
yeah,
they're gonna trap you and trap you in that environment, and they're gonna pull out all the stops to just make this an incredible experience. Case in
yeah,
point, an incredible experience to go into. So, hey,
right.
like I said, um, I don't know what they're gonna do. It just depends on um, what they feel like doing because all we're
Yeah,
doing is waiting.
right, yeah. At
We
this point,
waiting.
yeah. All we're doing is waiting, man. I definitely feel that tomorrow being Friday and this week where we've gotten quite a few houses is very pivotal. It's very pivotal. I think three things could happen. One, they piss everybody off and they don't give a shit because you know how Universal is. They could definitely push that and they did it the other day and had everybody crashing out. It was great. But two, we could get an original and stay on that trend. Or three, we could get an IP and probably one of, if not the biggest IP, especially if Terrifier is the one that's rumored to go out next. So tomorrow, by the time you are listening to this, if it is Friday, make sure you stay tuned to all Horror Night socials because there's something that we're going to get this weekend. Even if it's not tomorrow, I don't think that we're going to make it to next week without getting something else. That's just that's just kind of how I feel there.
Yeah, because whether people think so or not, I just think you know um I just think the hype train is just like it's just not going to end because um as we know the reason everybody knows why Universal took this long to announce anything is because of
Epic,
Epic Universe.
right?
And they're waiting for that hype to just slowly die down so that they can be like, hey, here's here is HHN. Yeah, I know y'all waiting. I know we took this long. We just waiting for Epic
Yeah,
to die down.
we know you're
So
waiting.
here you go.
Now, one other thing, we don't have much information about scare zones. I want to say we have a leaked scare zone, or maybe some leak details, or things like that. But the Scare Zone announcements are definitely coming soon. So make sure you stay tuned to us because we will be covering all that once we get it. Now, this would have been the end of the episode, but we have one more thing that we need to discuss. And this came out of nowhere in the midst of all of the Halloween Horror Night announcements and everything, guys. We weren't expecting this at all. I don't think anybody was. Nobody had any leads, nothing. But as this headline says down at the bottom of your screen, the breaking news is today. Universal announces Horror Unleashed is not only going to Vegas, but now Chicago. I have a whirlwind of thoughts about this. I'm very excited about this. It's only 4 hours away from us being in St. Louis, so cool. We'll be at Horror
Definitely.
Unleashed all the
We will
time.
we will we will
We
be
will be
there
there.
often.
We will be
So
there.
for real.
But something just strikes me about that. I wonder what made them. There's nothing wrong with expanding, right? Like their expansion is fine, but I wonder what made them also announce this still about 2 months away from the grand opening of Vegas. What is there some sort of a red flag there? Or they may be worried that they can't get enough people out to Vegas to see their attraction out there, so they want to lock the Midwest down? Where where are they? Is what I would love to pick their brain and figure that out.
Now let me tell you this though. Um, I believe that what Universal is doing as a company, as company wide theme parks and experiences, as far as theme parks and experiences are concerned, they're hitting every major region.
Yeah,
They want to have they just don't want to have a Central Florida bubble. They want to hit all these regions. They want to hit the West, the South, the North, the East, the Midwest. They it's honestly like they're doing like a national takeover because they got the Kids Resort in Texas, they got Horror Unleashed in Vegas. Now they got Horror Unleashed in Chicago, which is covering
yeah,
the Midwest. And
yeah,
so, and then you got Universal Great Britain that's across the pond. And
yeah,
so, um, along with, Epic Universe just opened, not to mention that they're going to add to Epic, plus adding stuff, always adding stuff to their existing parks. And so it's almost like Universal is just gaining steam. They're just gaining steam, and they're just not stopping, and they're not letting their foot off the gas because they know, excuse me, they know that the market share and they know that the market share is changing, and they know that all the stuff that they do, like just in Central Florida, isn't gonna be enough for them. They want the whole, like they are very well snatching Disney's pie. They want the pie, and they snatching Disney's pie away from them because not to say that Disney isn't doing anything, but um, they're doing stuff. Not only are they doing anything, but um, they're doing it in response to what Universal is doing, and
yeah.
to have and for Disney to and for Disney to just respond in this manner to goes to show you that Universal, they're just not playing around, and that's not only you know HHN Horror Unleashed speaking. That's like theme parks as a whole. They're not stopping, and
Right,
so Disney they just announced a new park in Dubai. Like who
right,
would have thought? You know what I'm
right,
saying? So everybody expecting them to build a fifth gate in Central Florida. They ain't do that yet.
right,
So they thinking
right.
about a whole nother region before Central Florida. And so that is just so I've seen this trend on Twitter. It's called X. I'm gonna call it Twitter. Dad named it Twitter. I'm gonna call it Twitter.
Yeah, it's
Anyways,
Twitter. It's Twitter.
um, there's this trend going around called the epic effect. And so, it's almost like I see the theme park community being like, oh, every time Disney announces something, the epic effect, the epic effect. And it rings true because before Epic Universe got announced, did you did you did you hear anything new or anything that has anything anything that has crossed the threshold of being new from Disney? You heard about? You ain't heard nothing. Nobody
No,
really heard nothing. All the stuff that
no,
they announced at D23 last year, yeah, ain't nobody really heard about that. I mean, everybody was pretty much clamoring for a Villains Land, but everything else, ain't nobody really know about that. And
right.
so, the fact that it's taken Epic Universe and Horror Unleashed and Universal Kids Resort in Texas, it's taken all this reach and it's taken all this stuff for Disney to respond. Just goes to show you that Universal, they're just tired. They're just tired of being second fiddle. They one of the heads of Universal, she told y'all in the promo package. They said, hey, when the families, when y'all come down here, we want y'all to come to Universal. We want y'all to
Right.
we want y'all to come. Y'all, we want this to be a Universal vacation and have Disney in the as a secondary option. Like, and Epic Universe was the right was the kick in the door that they had. They said, hey, we ain't coming to play around. We ain't bullshitting you. So
Right.
we here and we here to stay. We ain't going nowhere. So, in the grand scheme of things, um, with Horror Unleashed in Chicago, that's just another reach. That's
Dude,
just a
and it
Midwest. That now is just a Midwestern reach.
and
And think about like the people that can't go to Vegas. Like, not to say that
mhm.
they can't go, but to
Or
go to Vegas is going to be a lot of money to put together. And but now you can make a quick 4 hour drive to Chicago. Honestly, you can make a day trip out of that. You can
yeah,
drive in the morning, go to Horror Unleashed Chicago, come right back. Literally make a
yeah.
weekend out of it.
And honestly, you got to think about all the people that would love to go to horror nights but just can't make the trip happen because those people will go to Horror Unleashed. Or you got the people that maybe they aren't sure about taking on a full horror night event, but you know what? Let's go up to Chicago. Let's do Unleashed, see how we do there, and then maybe we'll venture out and try an event out and things like that. Now, there's one property that I want to speak on that I think would work great, and I got approval from a few people earlier talking to them, so I feel confident about this. I think with Horror Unleashed being in Chicago, better yet, being in the state of Illinois, I think that Michael Myers has found a full time home. I think he's found a full time home.
Haddonfield, Illinois. There you go.
Haddonfield, bro.
There you
Haddonfield.
go.
And like on some real shit, I feel like if they pop off there, no, we probably will not see Mike at the event anymore. But we've seen him plenty of times. I would love to see him. The house looks great every time he's at HHN, but we've seen him plenty of times. I think that not only Michael Myers, but I also think the Scarecrow the Reaping would look amazing and would just fit that Midwestern vibe. Everybody from the Midwestern, when they go in there, if you know, not the Midwestern, but from the Midwest, if they go in there and experience Michael Myers or Scarecrow the Reaping, a lot of these people had that view of that cornfield, that small town in their backyard. We from the Midwest, like it is just a different vibe. So I'm very excited about Horror Unleashed. I thought that announcement was cool. We got a HHN house announcement, and literally 45 minutes later, they dropped that shit. The internet went crazy. So we will be there to cover it. Um, Craig, before we close this one out, you got any other thoughts, man? I'm sure we'll be recording soon, man. We are in the thick of announcement season, so there's a lot happening.
Like this goes to show you this Chicago Horror Unleashed Chicago literally tells you all you need to know. There's
Hmm.
announcements coming left and right, and there might be announcements down the pipeline that they're going to announce tomorrow in the AM. Like they're just coming from everywhere, and like like I said, there's no stopping Universal right now. They are the hottest thing going right now. Like um Um, speaking of Epic Universe, that episode that's going to be the next episode, guys. Epic Universe recap. Be on the lookout. But
Yes.
the heads of Disney, Josh Tomorrow and um, Bob Iger they were literally at Epic Universe yesterday, or I think Josh Tomorrow was at Epic today,
Right.
and you know, and from what I was hearing, they were mostly in Dark Universe. So, and they got a Villains Land coming up. So, hey, they, I'm telling you, Universal is such the blueprint. They are the blueprint right
Yeah.
now. They realize
They
what
have.
they have realized what they have they realize what assets they have, and they're just and mind you, there are former Imagineers that are on Universal staff right. They're on the creative team right now. They
Right.
have they have just shown what what the creative mind can be and what it is capable of without any boundaries, no bound to nothing. And I think in turn, that is what this has turned to, a literal global takeover of what Universal is doing right now. So I'm looking forward to everything. Um, we definitely looking forward to HHN. The
Of course.
announcements keep coming. The content keeps coming from us, from me and Nick. Follow our socials, Instagram, Facebook coming soon, TikTok. Um,
Apple
we just now
Podcast is
got our
coming
Twitter
soon.
page.
Yep.
Um, we gonna be in the studio. We're gonna be uh, doing photo shoot content, and excuse me, and everything just happening all at once. The podcast, we going up, y'all.
Yeah.
There is nothing stopping us.
We.
Trust me, we are here for
Yeah.
the long run. All the future collabs, they're coming. Trust me,
Yes.
and um, trust us, because we know what you guys want, and we're here for that. We love the same things y'all like.
Yeah,
So
and that's
if
what's
y'all
so
get
cool about this universal and theme. We'll just say theme park, like this podcast community, is that it's all about different perspectives. You guys can listen to Dead Man's Mic, and then y'all can go listen to the homies at Fear and Beer, and then you can go listen to the homies at HHN Obsession. Then you can go listen to the Haunt Girls. You can keep going. You know what I'm saying, and get all of these different perspectives and compare and contrast, man, and it makes for good conversation. It makes for inspiration. It makes for you to want to get down to the parks to go, experience things for yourself. So definitely, like Craig was saying, this is only the beginning, and we appreciate you guys for rocking with our episodes this far. Make sure you follow us on all of our socials. That is Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Spotify is what we are on right now. Apple Podcasts will be coming soon. We're in the application process. We're going to get that going too.
Don't
So,
forget about the YouTube channel too. Subscribe to that YouTube.
yeah, absolutely. If you're watching this video, then you're at our YouTube page. So
Yes.
definitely, subscribe, like, comment. Don't leave without doing that. Let us know what you think. Our DM is always open on Instagram. Come talk to us. We always want to talk about the event, all announcements, any and everything, man. Horror Unleashed content, different theme park content. We're gonna be down to Universal a few times this season, dude. It's going up. So
We're literally gonna be down there now 3 times for
yeah,
HHN this year. We're gonna be in Orlando twice, and we're gonna be in Hollywood. And we
yeah,
will be at Not Scary Farm. Do not forget that.
Not
We
Scary
will
Farm
we will
and Hollow
also
Spring.
and Hollow Screen.
Yes,
We will also be down in Orlando for uh IAP that convention. Um
oh yeah, for IAPA. Yep, we'll be down
yeah.
there for that. Yep,
So we will be down there for that. We will be down for Orlando Informer in December.
that just
Um
got put on the calendar tonight.
that literally just got put on the calendar tonight. When I tell
Yes,
y'all we are hitting the ground running, we are not playing at
yeah,
all. No
and
games.
and and y'all come, like, if you see us, come say what's up, come hang out with us, man. We want, the whole thing about us is we want to create that family. Like, we want to get everybody together and just mob the parks, man. Have a great time and just kick it, man. That's what it's all about,
That's
and
literally
that's what
what it's all
we,
about. That's what we trying
yeah.
to do.
And
Family affair.
we'll always put a hit out on the page if we plan on being in town. So we're gonna go ahead and close this one now. We appreciate y'all for watching. We're gonna keep all of the content coming with anything surrounding HHN announcements, spec, different tweets, whatever. Universal's gonna troll all of us together. That's what they're gonna do. So we appreciate y'all, and we will see you soon.
Peace, y'all. Peace and love.
Peace
See y'all
out.
later.